Hello everyone, this is Caleb Simpson here from ZeldaDungeon.net, and you are watching our video walkthrough for The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. This chapter encompasses our travels up to the 5th dungeon of the game, up on the blizzard-covered mountains of Snowpeak. It runs just over half an hour and is going to be broken up into 4 videos. We have just completed the Arbiter's Grounds, and now that we have the spinner, there are actually 2 pieces of heart that are now available to us here in the overworld. So now for the first one, you want to warp over to the portal next to Castletown and start working your way towards the skinny path between North Hyrule Field and the area just above Lake Hylia. It's to the far east side of your map if you're playing this on the Wii version, or it'll be the far west side of your map if you're playing on the GameCube version. If there are still boulders blocking your way here and you haven't blown them up yet, you just want to use a bomb to make them disappear. Once you get in this area, you'll find rails that are along the walls. Yay! You want to use your spinner to latch onto them and propel yourself across to the far north side. There's actually some Stalfos along the way. You can defeat them with your sword, or you can use your spinner to have a little fun as you're passing by them and spin into them. Once you make it to the far north side, you'll find that there's actually one that leads upwards, one set of rails. So you want to get off your spinner, face to the south this time, and latch on the rails again. This will take you up to several different sets of rails up against the cliffs. And the first ones you don't have to do anything, but once you get to the gaps, you'll have to press your item button to spin across to the opposing rails. All it takes is timing, and it can be really frustrating if you keep falling. Just watch it closely and eventually you'll get it. Once you make it to the far end, you want to open the large chest you find here to get a piece of heart. If you've been following the walkthrough thus far, this should be your 29th piece of heart. And if you keep falling down, you can use the rails to quickly get back to the set that takes you off the cliff, so it's actually not that stressful if you do fall down. I mean, it's not as much walking is what I'm trying to say. You can fall down, you can just use the rails to get back there, so it's actually pretty convenient. With that out of the way, you want to warp on over to the Bridge of Eldin, assuming that you did warp the bridge that we found in Gerudo Mesa back to its intended location. So you want to warp over to the Bridge of Eldin and start heading north, and you will be hailed down by the postman, who has a letter for us from Barnes. After a friendly chuckle and salute, this fellow will turn around and run off into the wild unknown. Be free, Mr. Postman, be free! Now Barnes' letter is to inform us of a new bomb that he has developed called Bomb Shoes. I don't really understand. How does he have bomb shoes? Does he, I don't know, does he, beat up those weird little creatures in their dungeon and then salt them or something to preserve them? Does he have, a little patch of them growing in his backyard or something? Or, do the monkeys get him for him? Does he have, some kind of business opportunity thing going on with Ook the Baboon, the mini-boss of the Forest Temple? Anyways, I actually got Bomb Shoes 2 chapters ago, just before heading to the Gerudo Desert, and unlike water bombs, these ones are entirely optional, so you can grab them if you wish, but it's not required. Bomb shoes are totally optional. You set them on the ground and they will scurry forward and explode once they hit something solid, such as a wall, which isn't really important, or an enemy. So they're not really useful for blowing up walls and stuff, but they're really good for defeating enemies. So they're really useful if you need to blow up something quickly, such as a Stalfos, or the upcoming enemies in the next dungeon called Chilthos. These bomb shoes are really useful against them, so that's why I would recommend getting them, just for that reason. So, if you can get them if you wish, doesn't really matter. Continue heading north, and I actually have Epona here conveniently where I left her in the previous chapter as well. Now, if you don't have her here, that's likely. You just want to simply transform into a wolf so you can at least go a little bit faster and continue heading north. Once you get across the bridge, you want to get off Epona or transform back into your Hylian form, whichever, and then kill all the Bomblings that you find here if you wish. And then you'll find to the north side of the cliff here is a set of rails. How random. You want to use your spinner to get onto them, to latch on, and you'll find a hidden platform that leads all the way down here. There's a suspicious circle of grass here that is just begging to have something happen to it, so you can smack it up if you want, but then you want to transform into a wolf, use your senses, and dig down into the sparkly spot that's in the middle. So this leads down into one of those familiar looking underground areas. They all kind of look the same. And you'll find yourself faced off with 3 Stalfos at once. Now you can use a bunch of sword techniques and stuff to defeat them if you wish, but it is kind of awkward, especially when there's so many of them at once. I mean, you can use spin attacks and stuff as well, but they guard against that kind of stuff pretty well. They're better off using some of the hidden skills, such as the back slice and the helm splitter and such, but fighting 3 of them at once is kind of awkward. So you just want to use bombs or bomb arrows or bomb shoes that were mentioned in Barnes' letter in order to defeat them all at once. Once all 3 have been disintegrated, a large chest will appear on the platform on the far side of the room. You want to open it to get a piece of heart. If you've been following the walkthrough thus far, this should be your 30th piece of heart, thus granting you an entire another heart container. So at this point, I actually want about 550 rupees, as you'll see here in a moment, so I'm just slashing up jars and stuff to get in the grass to get some green rupees. So you probably don't have to do that, but the goal here is to get up to 600 rupees. I'm just trying to get up to about 550. Now here in the grass there's actually a hidden chest here that I actually did not know about until I recorded this video, but I suppose this is in case you didn't have them when you entered this area. This will allow you to defeat the Stalfos. With that all out of the way, you want to go ahead and exit the cave and warp on over to Castletown at long last. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and buy the magic armor from Malo Mart in Castletown. Now if you have not moved Malo Mart to Castletown, there's actually a very lengthy side quest or whatever in Kakariko Village where you donate money to Gorobaizo in Malo Mart there, and then you will make the bridge, and then you'll make move Malo Mart to there and actually take over a store that was in Castletown before, so they will replace it with Malo Mart. So if you have not done that yet, you're going to have to go check out the beginning of Chapter 12 where I did that, and it'll take you through that step by step. So I did that entire side quest except for buying the magic armor. And the reason was because I was out of rupees and I did not have enough bugs with Agitha at the time in order to get enough money for that. So I would have had to gone out of my way in order to get rupees in order to do that. And then after completing the next couple dungeons, we would have had a full wallet for a very long period of time. So it made more sense as far as rupees wise. I didn't want to waste a bunch of rupees and waste a bunch of time in the walkthrough to do that. So instead what I did is I did not buy the magic armor then, and I'm going to buy it now that we have on almost full amount of rupees. So right now I have, I have 550 rupees about. We need 598 rupees in order to purchase the magic armor from Malo Mart. So basically a full 600. Now because I'm 49 short and I was heading to Castletown anyway, I'm just going to give one single bug to Agitha. Giving her one of a particular type will give you 50 rupees, which is how much I need, while giving her a second one that completes a pair will give you 100 rupees. I only need 50, so I'm just going to give her one of a single type, so I'm giving her the Dayfly that we got from the Gerudo Desert, for example. So once you've done that, we will be capable of buying the magic armor. Once again, if you have not moved Malo Mart yet to Castletown, you're going to have to go check out Chapter 12, which is where I did that. As I said earlier, the magic armor is totally optional, so if you do not want to do this right now, or you already have the magic armor, or you didn't do the side quest earlier and you don't plan on getting it, you can go ahead and skip ahead to the next video where we will continue on with the main quest. Now assuming you are in Castletown, you have lots of money, and you've already completed that part of the side quest, and it's really convenient because we're already in Castletown, I am going to go ahead and purchase the magic armor now. Now you want to head inside of Malo Mart here in Castletown, and before there was a guy in here named Chudley who owned this shop, and he was really rude and stuck up and arrogant and stuff, and he had really outrageous prices. But now that Malo Mart has bought it out, Chudley has actually changed his name to Malver, and he's all happy and dancing and very polite now, and he's very concerned with his customers' well-beings and stuff. But anyways, now all the prices are much reduced, and the magic armor is actually affordable now. You want to go ahead and purchase it for a very, cheap 598 rupees. This mystical armor will make you invincible while you wear it. Assuming you have rupees, of course. It'll steadily drain your rupees, and once you run out, it'll weigh you down similar to the iron boots, and you'll no longer be invincible. So you'll have to change into something else, like your other tunics or armor or whatever, and then until you have more rupees and you can use it again. So it's not really that good, except for really tough fights. It's not really practical to use it in dungeons and stuff. It's only really good for really tough fights when you're fighting against some really hard enemies, such as in the Cave of Ordeals. It's really useful there. Also, because it drains rupees so quickly, it's not even really practical to use until you have the largest wallet, which allows you to hold up to 1,000 rupees. But here's my theory on this. Because Malo sells it, I don't think the magic simply drains your rupees. I think it direct deposits it into Malo's bank account. With all that out of the way, you want to head on over to Talma's Bar and join me for the next video where we will start venturing towards the next dungeon.